Hello everybody, this is Commander Stove, and today we're going to talk about stealth in Star Citizen and how it actually works. There's a lot of misconceptions about stealth. I've done a good bit of testing with court mates and by myself to see how it actually works, and I'll share with you my findings today along with some videos showcasing that. But first we're just going to overview of how stealth and targeting works in Star Citizen. As you can see right here, this guy, he's in an Aurora, he's 385 away from me. He's not stealth. All I got to do is target him. I can just use my hotkeys to target him, cycle enemy or cycle friendly, or focus reticle, which is R, and I can target him. Now, what really identifies stealth and not stealth in this game is your triangle. And I don't see anybody else on here, but the little triangle around your ship, and let's see if I can get him detargeted here. Don't know how to detarget, unfortunately. I've never really been able to. But there's a triangle that will appear around his ship. And that basically is the identifier for you and your ship. When somebody else sees you, they will see your triangle first. They just won't see your ship. It's really hard to see a ship in this game. Just even when you're flying by it, like right now I can barely see it. And there you go, I can actually see the outline of it now. But you'll see the green triangle a lot more, and when you actually have somebody targeted, the green triangle breaks up like this. However, you can make that green triangle not show up for longer, and I'll show you how. Okay, a lot of people think that stealth, if you look down at this menu, is this button right here. I click it, and as you can see, it lowers my power to this bar. What it's trying to do here is it's actually just trying to give me maximum power to where my ship will keep a stealth signature, as it were. This isn't in the game. This does not work. This actually just hurts you. This does nothing. Alright, this is, I guess it's supposed to lower your EM signature somehow. I don't really know. But again, this is a placebo effect. This does nothing but lower this bar, and that's going to hurt you in combat. So you just go ahead and raise that back up. We're not going to touch that. That is wrong. This down here, this actually does work, and we'll just go over this as well while we're here. What this does, a lot of people have misconceptions about this little triangle too. Balanced mode, you're going to have equal power to all things when your ship needs power. So this really doesn't matter. Like right now, I'm at full power on all systems. This isn't really going to affect, but let's say I was in a dogfight and my shields were shot. Now my shields will have to be regenning, and I'm shooting at the same time. So I can say, hey, power to shields. And you see I have voice attack, so it raised the notch up one. Now there's a hotkey for this. It's F6, F5, F7, F8, respectively to do this. But now when my ship shields are hurt, it's going to allocate more power to my shields while I'm fighting to get those regen right away, as opposed to if I had it over here to weapons, which again it'll revert more power to weapons when I'm dogfighting so they don't overheat as much. But again, this will sap your power a lot depending on what you use it on, so use it cautiously. You probably just want it one notch up. I usually just put it one notch up on shields if I'm in a ship like that, like a EMP ship or something. I'll want it all the way up into here to actually have that EMP get off, and then have my shields wind up faster and regen faster. So, you know, there is some application to using this. So use it cautionly though, because if you do put one to one way, it's going to sap all your power to one, and you're in a dogfight situation or you're in trouble, things like that. So use that cautionly. Anyway, back to stealth. We're going to go back here and we're going to go down to this meter. This is where the stealth happens right here. Now, you can turn off different things on your ship. I can turn off my weapons, and you can watch my IR signature over there on the left, and it's going to go down. All right, so offline. It's going to go down. I can turn off my shields, same thing.
Shields offline.
Right? I can turn off my engine.
Engines offline.
Same thing. Okay, so now I have everything down, and you're going to see my EM signature and my IR signature drop considerably. It's going to go probably to around 300 and 400 respectively with everything off. You're still not stealth. This does nothing. This does nothing right here. You can do this and you will still show up as normal, which is about, for this ship, 4,500 to 5,000. Okay, so it does seem that different ships do appear at certain different ranges based on their size, that triangle. A Hammerhead you'll see appear at around 24 kilometers away, the triangle, just because it's so big, and it was on at that time. Later in the video I'll show you that. But again, normal ships like this little Aurora in front of me, and everything else, they'll show up around 4,500 to 5,000 meters respectively for the triangle. You'll hit that triangle right there around that range, okay? Right now, you can see I'm 200 and 500. My triangle will still show up at 4,500. Now, if I click this, now I'm stealth. Now I'm going to show up on your triangle, or my triangle is going to show up when you are 1,800 meters away from me, which is, that's dogfighting range, okay? And I'll show you that a little bit later too, and I'll actually show you how you find a stealth ship, because we were actually testing stealth and a stealth Saber suck up on us, and we did actually ping it and find it, but I'll show you how that occurs and how he was able to actually sneak up on us, and with a good ping, we did end up finding him and were able to kill him. But again, stealth is in the game. It's very stealthy. You can get within 1,800 meters of somebody with this on. Now I can turn back on my weapons, my engines, my shields, and I'm still stealth. Now it's going to increase my IR a little bit as my shields raise. I don't know how much that affects it. I will tell you that pinging your ship when you go into ping mode like this does overheat your IR, as you can see, to about 20,000, and letting off a huge ping will make your ship visible to everybody around you for around 30 km. You can see a triangle that just pinged. So pinging actually does make you show up further, as if you were a bigger ship. So just note that as well. When you're actually trying to find a stealth ship, if you can ping it, if you've pinged him, he knows where you are too, because you've just sent your IR skyrocketing, and he can see your triangle from afar. Okay, so that's how that works. And now I'm going to actually show you some application with this and a couple of different videos that I've filmed using these techniques, this stealth technique. Now, again, as you can see, my IR is dropping, and I'll show you one more thing here before I go, and we'll just let the IR sit at its normal rate, which right now my weapons are on, so it's going to be around 6,900 to 5,000 or something like that. I forget. It's depending on what weapons you use. Weapons seem to add a lot of IR to your ship. But again, I did test this as well because I thought, hey, you know, weapons seem to be adding a lot of IR. What if I just turned off my weapons or nothing else? That's cool. You see, it'll go down to really low, about 3,800 now, so that's considerable IR droppage right there. It actually does nothing. That does nothing in terms of making you more stealthy. You can have your weapons on. My friend has a Saber, and in the video I'm about to show you, I do test this specific thing. He's running suppressed first with everything on, then I have asked him to turn off his weapons with suppression, same range you'd pick him up at, no difference at all. So it really does seem that the only thing that really affects stealth is this little button right here. Alright, and that's all you need to know. Now, all ships have this. You just go into your menu and you look for the heat. Alright, some ships don't have it shown right away. You have to just switch over one of these little panels to it. Another thing to note, that if you do have this on, it is going to use a lot of your power to suppress your heat. So when you're shooting your weapons or regenning shields, this is really going to hurt your power flow to your ship if you don't have good power supply. The Saber, being a stealth ship, has a couple of different power supplies. I think it has 2 power supplies. We'll check that out right now. I believe it's 2. Yeah, it's 2 sonic light power supplies. You got 2 coolers and 2 sonic light power supplies with 3 shields. So that's kind of a big deal. The 2 power supplies actually let you run this with suppression and dogfighting just fine with Omni 2s. I have 4 Omni 2s on this. I can dogfight while in suppression mode. I can move, I can deke, I can maneuver around. I can shoot my weapons endlessly. It doesn't do anything to this ship. I've flown other ships where I've had suppression IR on and tried to do the same. It's not the case. So ship to ship that will vary. And I just think, I don't know if that's more of a thing for stealth and the Saber specifically, or as the Saber just having 2 power supplies to be able to run this with a couple of coolers. So I don't know if that's more just the power supplies or the actual Saber being stealth that allows it to do that. I'm leaning towards it's the power because, again, I've upgraded my other ships and I've been able to keep suppression on, again, on my Warlock with a ACOM Starheart power supply, and it does wonders for that ship. So upgrading power supplies do go a long way in this game, especially when you're trying to do advanced things like run, suppression, or stealth. You can do this in a max. You can do this in a cutlass. I've had cutlass ships that I've fought show up on stealth. and show up at 1800 just like any other ship. The only things that really seem to go against this are bigger ships like the Hammerhead, the 600i, the Starfarer, Gemini, the Caterpillar, things like that. Any other ship seems to be able to hit the suppression button just fine, even freelancers, like I said. The only downside to them is that they cannot use suppression and fly and dogfight at the same time. They're one of the ships that literally have to turn this off, so or bad things will happen to you. So just keep that in mind, and I hope you enjoy the next couple of videos to showcase stealth and how it actually works. So thank you very much, and enjoy. Okay, so here we are. I'm flying into my buddy's Saber. He is stealth. Only has suppress IR on, and we're trying to figure out some ranges, both when the triangle will appear and when it will actually go away once I have it appeared. So we're doing a little bit of testing here. And I'm just trying to creep up because I'm trying to get the exact distance that this triangle is going to appear. It is between 1800 and 1900, I'll tell you that right now. And it's about to happen now. Alright, so now his triangle did show up. So I'm going to go ahead and back up. And now I want to test how far do I have to get from him before his triangle disappears. So now I have him on radar. I've seen him. I've spotted him up close. He is still stealth. And now we're going to see how far we have to get from him, or how far in a scenario he would have to get from me once I've spotted him to regain his stealth signature. So we're going to back up. And if you want to skip forward, it does happen around 24 kilometers. 23 to 24 kilometers, I believe his triangle is going to go ahead and just disappear. And then I would have to, again, scoot in close enough to see him again, which is that 1800, 1900 range. So, but again, this is for science. This is what we wanted to know. This is what we wanted to test. So that's what we're testing right now. And we're still going backwards here. We're at what, 16 now? 18? 19? And again, I have a feeling that it's about to disappear. Around 22, 23. And it's gone. Right there. As you can see, right, it happened at 23 kilometers. His triangle is gone. And now I asked him to turn off his weapons plus IR, which lowers his signature down to around 3,250. Around my size level right here, as you can see. He's probably around 3,800 plus, or with that suppression on and his guns off. But again, as you can see, 1,800 meters, he does show up. So turning your weapons on, turning your weapons off, doesn't really seem to do anything. And again, depending on the size of your weapons, that can be huge. The signature added onto it. So we're talking anywhere from, with suppress IR on, you can be on a Saber around 3,800 to around anywhere from 7,000, depending on if you have size 4s or size 3s on your, like size 3 Omnis fixed on your ship. So depending on the bigger size gun, your IR signature is going to vary, but again, that does not matter. Here I am. We have a Hammerhead that's on the ground, right on top of Jumptown, and I'm testing the stealth with it. I want to see what it's going to show up as and when it's going to appear, when it's going to disappear. Right now we're talking, and I'm having him just go into suppression mode, and I'm backing away from him because I want to see that triangle disappear. I want to see how far I have to get for that triangle to disappear, and then he's going to suppress his IR, and I'm going to fly in and see how close I can get before that triangle appears. So again, this is just a much bigger ship in the game, and I had some thoughts that maybe the bigger ships can't stealth. Maybe they're different than the smaller ships. So we're about to find out as soon as I turn around. And again, you can go ahead and skip forward all this, guys, if you want to. I believe right now I have to get around 44 kilometers away to not actually see his ship appear, or the triangle to go away. So here I am. I'm going in. I got 50 away. I made the triangle disappear. And he is suppress IR on. right now. So he has nothing else but suppress IR on, and I'm going. Well, he has everything on, and he only has suppress IR. So basically, we're just trying to see if suppress IR. If you click that button with a hammerhead, does it make it appear around 1,800 meters like the other ships? Don't know. We'll find out. Again, got to kind of scoot in here because I didn't know the range that it was actually going to show up, so I did start far away. Again, this is all for science, guys. If you want to skip forward, you can. I'll tell you right now, it's going to show up around 24 kilometers with suppression on, and you'll see that here in a second. We're around 27 now, and there it is right there, 27. So actually, it happened around 27 with suppress IR on. I saw it right then and there, and I was able to pick him up regular, by the way, around 24, 27 as well. So it appears that suppress IR really doesn't do anything as far as mask the hammerhead at all. So now what we're going to do is I'm flying away from him, and he wanted to try if he just turned the ship off. Now, I'll tell you, turning your ship off, it seems to mask your signatures in different ways. I've flown over Jumptown, and I've seen a freelancer sitting there on the deck at Jumptown from 18 away, 10 away, things like that. This hammerhead, it's going to be different. I'll tell you that right now. This time it's going to be different. Um, I am scooting back again. I want to see how far away with the suppression IR button on it takes takes how to make that triangle disappear from his ship. So again, I'm just trying to get far enough away here for that to happen, and that's not going to happen until around 44, I believe. So we still have a little bit of ways to go, but we're going to turn around here, and we're going to shoot into that hammerhead again, and we're going to see how long it takes for it to pop up with no signature whatsoever. He has his ship off. There's nobody in the turrets. He's not even sitting in his seat this time. They're actually just standing, or him and his buddy are standing on the ship, and that's it. So we're now cruising in to see this hammerhead and see how close we can get to this hammerhead with it completely off. There's no signatures coming from this ship as of right now. I will tell you one thing. All it takes is a scan. Now, as good as this is, you're just one scan away from being caught and found, and then your ship is off, you're on the ground, you're going to have to start it, and you're going to have to go. As soon as somebody scans you, even from 30 kilometers away, they will pick you up as a square. They know you're there. They just don't know what you are. They're probably going to beeline it to you to figure out what you are. And again, you're going to see that again coming up in this next clip after I get done with this, because there is a Saber that does appear, and you'll see me shoot towards the green square just to find out what he is. Because you'll see a green square, you just don't know what the ship is, you don't know how fast it's moving, you don't know anything about it other than there's an object in space over there. But that is what the stealth downside is to it. So as good as this is, if I'm flying into Jumptown right now, if I were to ping right now and let it off, I would see a green square where I'm aiming right there, and I would just have to go towards it to see and identify what it is. Now, I wouldn't identify it until I got up to the range that it allowed me to identify it for. And I'll also showcase that, too. I forgot to mention that while we were doing this, a retaliator, I believe it was the Saber's buddy, because we got into a good amount of fights while we were doing this, so people were coming and checking us out. And I believe that Saber was coming to scout, and then a retaliator came down also to try to kill the hammerhead, but it is my opinion that because we were testing this, he couldn't see the hammerhead. He saw the green square if he scanned, which I don't know if he did, but he didn't see that hammerhead appear until he was almost right on top of it over Jumptown. He had no idea where it was when he was coming in. That's why you see him in the video. He's literally going very slow, kind of just almost in parking speed coming up to Jumptown. That's because he was actually trying to get the green triangle to appear on the hammerhead so he could target it and lock it with a torpedo. Retaliators shoot Type 9 torpedoes. They can shoot from 36 km away. This guy had to get right next to the hammerhead to shoot him, as you can see right here. I'm going to have to get about 3,500 for that green triangle to appear. 3,500 meters is when the green triangle will appear when his ship is completely off, and there it is. So this is how close you would have to get to launch a torpedo at him. That's how close you would have to be. Again, here comes the clip where I believe this now is where the Saber is about to appear. My buddy is going to let off a scan, and he's going to alert me to the fact that there is something in the area, and we're going to try to get him here. I believe that happens. Let's see. Let's just take a look. And it appears I'm just flying away from him again. Maybe, oh, you know what it is? I wanted to see with his ship off how far it took for his triangle to disappear, because that's also good to know, right? When your ship's off, how far do you have to go to get that triangle to kind of disappear from uh, your targeting system? So, in the name of science, I went to find that out, and here we go. And I believe it cuts off right about now. It took around 44, 46 kilometers for it with suppression and it just being on to kill the triangle from target. On this one, I believe it's going to kill the triangle around 34 to 36 kilometers. I believe it's 34. So just in torpedo range, which is like 36 kilometers, I believe, is the max range for torpedoes. But 34 is when this little triangle is going to disappear from the hammerhead, and you can't see it anymore because the ship's off. So turning your ship off, again, does give it a lower signature property. People will have a harder time finding it if they're just flying, trying to look for a ship on the ground somewhere, or trying to go to a spot where they think PvP is going to be, like Jump Town. Unless they ping, they're not going to see you until they get right up on you. As you can see, even a hammerhead, 3,500. So, turn those ships off when you get down to Jump Town, and hope nobody pings, because they won't see you until they get there. Just make sure you turn everything off when you land, and don't leave it on. And there you go. The triangle has now disappeared, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And this is where we're kind of concluding the test. I don't think there's much more to it, and we think we're done. But again, as I said, a Saber comes in and kind of interrupts us here because he was doing some scouting. Again, like I said, throughout all of this, I've cut out a lot of parts, but my buddies were fighting multiple ships coming in and out to Jump Town while I was just running this test. So I figured we had everything under control at this point. We were also doing a little bit of runs too. I think we were trying to run Widow with a guy and a freelancer, so we had a lot of downtime, and I decided to go ahead and test these random things because I wanted to know about stealth, and I wanted to know exactly how it worked in every which way, especially with bigger ships, with smaller ships, like the Saber. Again, it's all about that suppress IR button, and every ship can do it. And there goes a ping, as you can see. A ping just went off in the distance there. That might have been the Saber. I don't know, because I really wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get this triangle to appear again. And I believe what he did there, too, is he sat in his seat, and the other guy got in the turret, and we were trying to see if the triangle showed up any closer. It did not. It still stayed the same distance, which is 3,500 meters. And yeah, that's what it is. So, and there you can see we saw a ping go off. My friend did alert me. He said, "Hey, there's something over there. We have incoming." So I went ahead and pinged, and as you can see, that big square, that is what you see when there is an object that you've scanned. And I'm going to ping it again, and there it is again. You can see it. It shows up as a little square. Now, it'll be a green square if you're not in a Vandal ship or an alien ship. Your UI is based on the ship you're in. And you can see I have to get right up on this guy for him to appear. Bam. And that was about 1,800 meters right there, closing the gap. So he had stealth on. He had suppress IR on. Now, something really weird happens here, and I'm trying to target him because my friend is also in a Saber. I can't get a good lock on him, and I'm having a little bit of trouble. I'm also having some confusion there because based on my friend's Saber. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm flying over top to see what it is, and I do identify that it is a Saber while my friend is actually shooting at it, and he goes ahead and destroys the Saber. But it was really strange because it was almost like there was no pilot in it. I don't know what was going on. He could have been lagging, but he was stealth eavesdropping right there, just trying to figure out what was going on. And as you can see here, I was playing around with my Hammerhead buddy again, and then I had incoming occur again by the same friend who's always watching out. Good on him. And we see this Retaliator come in. Now, the Retaliators don't want to get this close to a fight. He was just looking for the Hammerhead. And this is Buzzkiller, and I believe this guy actually makes a lot of videos, too. You might have seen him on YouTube. But he comes in to try to finish off our Hammerhead, and again, he couldn't get a lock because he had to go so close to that Hammerhead. He had to get within 3,500 to actually see it, to lock it with a torp. And later, he did come back and ask us if the torpedo did shoot because he thought he got one off, but he did not. So that about concludes the video now, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, like and subscribe, and use the below code if you want to get into Star Citizen. Please go ahead and use that. That'll both give us 5,000 credits each, and I hope to see you out there. Again, thank you so much for watching.